Hi, welcome to the Silver Spleen. My name is Hyman Roth, and this is my review of Out of Inferno 3D. Sean Lau Ching-wan and Louis Koo Tin-lok play brothers who both make their living dealing with fire. Imagine what this movie would have been like if they were pimps. Lee Sin-jae plays Lau Ching-wan's pregnant wife, who is tired of always coming in second on her husband's list of priorities. She goes to see her OB-GYN on the 14th floor of a building where Louis Koo is in charge of fire security and is opening his new fire safety business office on the 40th floor. There's an electrical problem in the building that requires sweaty people to fix it. And you know what the working class is like. The building catches fire. Lau Ching-wan leads his team of firemen to the rescue and tries unsuccessfully to avoid his wife's wrath. In the ensuing chaos, Louis Koo randomly bumps into her and her OB-GYN, whose abject lack of courage combined with his profession means that I just have to call him a pussy. Now, being a fan of inappropriate juxtapositions, Crystal Lee, the child actress, who is so engaging and unbeatable, is also in this movie, but her part is really small and she doesn't get a chance to make much of an impact on the viewer. But let's face it, children in disaster movies are generally just set dressing. Out of Inferno is an exercise in ticking off all the requisite plot points, and it makes all of the same mistakes that disaster movies make. Nobody can see underwater except fish. If this was an effective safeguard against toxic fumes, maybe I wouldn't have such bad results when I fart during dates. If elevator shafts were watertight, the elevator couldn't move. Think about it. But I honestly didn't get upset about this, because disaster movies are always implausible, even the ones in Hollywood. And they're always melodramatic too. So yes, this film is very melodramatic, but you know what? The melodrama in Out of Inferno doesn't get piled on with the wild abandon that it did in the Korean movie The Tower. Yes, Out of Inferno is technically implausible, thoroughly cliched, narratively transparent, and emotionally simplistic. But so is every other disaster movie you've ever seen. So for me, the question then becomes, how well can you distract me from the glaringly pedestrian and occasionally ridiculous nature of this story? And for me, the answer was quite a bit. Out of Inferno entertained me, and that's all I ask. Is it a good movie? Probably not, but it entertained me, so f*** it. Lau Ching-wan again shows us how and why he is one of the best actors that this city has ever produced. He carries the mantle of Captain Stereotype so well that I still believed in him as his character. Louis Koo and a lot of the other cast members behaved in ways like trying to climb up onto a ledge and struggling with it like normal people would. And by showing those kinds of struggles, it allowed me to believe in them that much more and to kind of get drawn into the film. Another thing, maybe it's a little strange, the movie is set in Guangzhou, which is a southern city in China where the predominant language is still, for the time being, Cantonese, so that most of the actors get to speak in their first language. That, for me, helped a lot. It's also important because obviously firemen are civil servants. And in China, civil servants work for the government, and let's face it, I'm not a fan. But I never got the impression the Pang brothers were trying to run the poison dragon drill on the China market. Especially with one of the minor plot turns, because it boosts the melodrama in an all too frighteningly possible way. I actually watched this movie in 2D, because I could see it early, and it was 30 Hong Kong dollars. I don't really care for 3D. I wanted to see if Out of Inferno had the same kind of "this is 3D" sort of scenes that Detective D Rise of the Sea Dragon had. I can happily say it doesn't. Speaking of the visual effects, they really impressed me. I would recommend this movie a hell of a lot more than The Tower. Now, if you want to watch this movie, do it. Do it in Hong Kong. Go see it in the cinema. It's a big, loud movie. It's fun. When this film gets released to home video, I'll update the description so you can buy a disc, buy a Blu-ray, buy a DVD. I don't care, but buy it. Don't steal it. If you enjoyed this review or my other reviews, please leave me a comment. I do read them and I do enjoy them. If you didn't like the review, leave me a comment anyway. If there's a movie you would like to see me review, please let me know. And if you really enjoy the reviews, I would appreciate a subscription, because that way I know people are listening to me. That reminds me, can somebody tell me how to say you on the top and you on the bottom in Mandarin? Never mind.